5826. That's 800-823-5826.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581.
Attention all business owners and creative minds. Do you need a unique and personalized touch for your products? Look no further than Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Designs. We offer custom laser engraving services for a variety of products, including promotional items and corporate or personal gifts. With state-of-the-art equipment and a team of skilled designers, we can engrave intricate designs on virtually any material. Whether it's a special message, a company logo, or a custom design, Romika Laser Engraving will help you make your mark. And the best part, our prices are affordable and our turnaround time is quick.
I couldn't be happier with the work Romika Laser Engraving did for me. The engraving on my product was precise and exactly what I wanted.
So don't wait any longer to add a personal touch to your products. Call Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs today at 817-400-4040 or visit our website at romikadesigns.com. We look forward to helping you make your mark.
Welcome back, everybody. It's John and Bill. Before we get started, I want to remind you today's show is brought to you by Ensemble Co-working, Fort Worth's hub for private offices, co-working, meeting space, virtual mail. Find your perfect workspace at ensemblecoworking.com. Well,
hey, buddy.
How's it going?
It's going good, man. It's going real good.
It was a good week for the good guys.
It damn sure was.
The Cowboys got a big win. The Texas Longhorns got a big win, and the Dallas Mavericks actually got a big win on Monday.
What?
I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't. I've been a little out of touch on the basketball. Been
they actually beat Denver. They beat Denver.
What? Wow.
Now we'll talk about that a little later.
Was Jokic not playing?
No, he was. I think that would explain why. But I got some stats that we can jump into a little later in the show. But
sounds good.
But man, today we're going to talk about obviously the big Texas game. We're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys game. We're going to talk college football playoff. We're going to talk about some of the coaching carousel that has continued. We're going to talk about some of the games coming up this weekend. And then we can also talk about a little bit about the Stars. We got some breaking news on the Stars today, and then touch a little bit on the Mavs. So let's jump right into our Texas Longhorns and the Texas A&M game on the day after Thanksgiving.
Real quick, let's throw a shout out to our sponsor.
Also, yeah.
Did you miss it?
Still looking for justice, still trying to find meaning.
If you need to fight or if you're not to fight.
I'm hearing a little bit of other.
How about feeling like your child's life didn't matter because there is no justice?
Uh-oh.
I'm hearing a
How
little.
about my child's life didn't matter because there's
like another show's
nobody
going
to
on
hold
possibly?
accountable.
Yeah.
I know that feeling when he ran for a year. I just thought, really?
Well, this lady, like the daughter, black. She's black.
We are hearing another show here. I believe that John is efforting. The way he's sitting right now, it looks like a scene out of the Back to the Future where he's disappearing. So please don't go away, John. Please don't disappear.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, bro.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. So I did announce our sponsor as soon as we started. But just
Well, that would make sense. That would make sense because I didn't hear it. I don't know.
let's do it again just in case everybody missed it. Today's show is brought to you by Ensemble Co-working, Fort Worth's hub for private offices, co-working, meeting space, and virtual mail. Find your perfect workspace at ensemblecoworking.com. There we go. All right. We got it twice. All righty. So let's jump into Texas A&M, right?
Oh, boy.
We talked. I told you all year, I don't buy the A&M hype.
It's fraudulent.
And I was effing right. Not saying that A&M's not a good team. They're just not as good as they appeared to be all season. They played the bottom half of the SEC all season long.
Yeah.
They should have lost to South Carolina. If South Carolina had half of a spine, they would have lost to South Carolina. They had a close game with Archie. They can't stop the run, and Texas definitely ran all over them.
They did.
They did. The final score was 27-17.
Which you almost dead on called.
Yeah, I think I called 31-17.
You did. You said 31-17.
But, to start the game, it looked like it was going to be a long day. Man, I think what I said was, man, if we limit what Marcel Reed does in the pocket, we'll be okay. And Pete Kwiatkowski does not typically let mobile quarterbacks beat him. It's a pretty common theme. Mateer didn't do much against us the year prior. No. We didn't let Michael Hawkins do anything against us when we played OU last season. Going back historically, when we get beat, it's because the quarterback is just on fire, right? The perfect window throws. And I'm going back to, the Washington game. Michael Penix, he played a perfect game against Texas in that bowl game, and Texas still had a chance to win that game to go on to the national title. They didn't, and that's all history. But so anyways, it started, Texas blocked a field goal. They picked off Marcel Heisman Reed twice. One of them was Michael Taft, which, because he is Texas through and through, was special for him to get an interception against Texas A&M on senior night. That was pretty special.
That's huge.
Dude, offensively, we dominated them. Trey Weisner, 19 for 155 yards. That's over 8 yards a carry.
He had a hell of a game.
Arch had 7 carries for 53 yards. He was 14 for 29 for 179 and a touchdown. He started off a tad erratic, but he kind of just did enough. Man, we entered the fourth quarter and we just controlled the clock, beat them to sleep. We could have scored again at the end. We really did what we were supposed to do against a good team. Now, that kind of rolls us into the college football playoff. Now, but before we get into the college football playoff, I want to touch a little bit about the coaching carousel, right?
Okay.
So,
all right.
Kansas State's head coach, Chris Kleiman, has decided he's going to step down. So, he's going to be replaced by A&M offensive coordinator Colin Klein.
Which former KSU quarterback there, so that makes a lot of sense.
He almost won a Heisman there, and he played there from I think it was 2008, 2011. And
good college quarterback.
He was a great college quarterback. He was really good, especially for, now that was back in the day, Coach Snyder, he played
Bill Snyder.
He played a certain brand of football. They were going to run it down your throat. And that's that's what he did.
Hard-nosed defense, tough.
Yep. So he's gone. The other big move, freaking Brian Hartline is leaving Ohio State and going to South Florida.
I like that.
I like that too,
honestly.
Which brings up another point. Happy National Signing Day.
Early National
Signing Day. So there was one receiver from Mater Day out in California.
Yep.
His name is Chris Henry Jr., who it all appeared that he was going to sign with Ohio State.
It did.
And when the news broke that Brian Hartline was leaving, he said, well, I don't know about that. And then they said,
not so fast, my friend.
Yeah. As old Corso says, not so fast, my friend. They said, well, it looks like Oregon is the favorite. Well, some pretty recent news has broken that Texas has made a significant push with NIL, and they are really thinking about it. Now,
that gets me excited.
He is a fantastic wide receiver. He is every bit as talented as any receiver that's come out. He's, in my opinion, he's the best receiver in the class. And I'm not saying that because he's at Texas. There's a chance he could go to Texas. Go ahead.
I will say this. I know you're not old enough to really. I don't think that you're old enough to remember his dad.
Oh yeah.
His dad was killed in a truck in a vehicle accident.
He's a West Virginia guy, right?
Yeah. Yep. Long time ago, and he was kind of like a Randy Moss light. He was that kind of build and kind of.
He's actually raised by teammate of his dad, Pac-Man Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And
another,
they were part of that West Virginia when West Virginia was ginning back in the day.
Pat White, Chris Henry,
Tavon Austin.
You had probably Steve Slayton probably.
What was the name of the fullback that was crazy as shit?
Oh, you had who was it? Was it Tavon Austin? Was he? No, he wasn't there back then.
Yeah, he was. Well, yeah, it was before his time, but he was after that. But
that same crew, though. But yeah, you get it. I'm just saying, the kid has NFL bloodlines. He is a super talented receiver.
Super talented. And then the last thing I have, what the hell is going on with the Penn State gig?
It seems like it has leprosy right now,
dude. Like,
I don't know. There's some stuff that we're not seeing.
Well, it looks like
their second head coach in a row today, after Kalani Sitake from BYU turned them down to stay at BYU. They were looking at Jeff Brom from Louisville. Mm-hmm. It's not a super big surprise to me that Brom stayed at Louisville. This is a Louisville guy. He played there in college, played in the pros for a while. He's come back.
That's where he wants to be.
I mean, he grew up in Louisville. He played college ball at Louisville, and he's been coaching there for a while now. So it's home for him. And Penn State, there's a lot of expectations there, and it's a prestigious job, but I just don't think that Jeff Brom is the guy that really wants to move up or go anywhere. I think he's happy at Louisville.
Yeah.
I think he's got a solid program year in and year out. There's no danger of him getting fired anytime soon.
Yeah. It's really confusing. Now, I saw somewhere, this was right before the show started, with the most recent flip that they just had. Man, their recruiting class is now sitting at 150.
Yeah. I saw they had like 4 recruits.
Yeah. They have 4 recruits that have signed. They don't have a coach, right? That's the main problem.
Yeah.
They're probably going to end up having to keep the interim coach, which will keep what they have there, the team intact, because they love the guy. I know they were politicking for him to keep the job. So, that's one to look out for. Now, all that being said, man, the college football playoff, man, the committee, they're drunk. I don't, and you and I have had this conversation. Texas should be in the playoffs had they not lost a certain game, and that's whether you want to call it Ohio State, whether you want to call it Florida. I don't care. My biggest complaint is you want to hold certain schools to a standard, but you won't hold other schools to a standard. And that school would be Alabama. Alabama lost a terrible game to Florida State. Now, it was early in the year. Texas lost to Florida early in the year. But when Texas lost to Florida, they were ranked 9th. They lost to Florida, and they dropped out of the top 25. Out of the top 25, right?
Yeah, I agree. There is definitely favoritism towards Alabama, but there's one other school that they do that for.
Oh, yeah. And you and I had the conversation.
Notre Dame. Yeah, it's Notre Dame. Miami, they have the same record as Miami, but Miami beat them, yet they're 2 spots higher than Miami.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's you're doing that because Notre Dame is a name, and they will bring advertising dollars and put butts in seats.
Yep.
I get that it's about money. It's not college sports anymore. It's still it's professional sports now. Say what you want.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
But it's about money, and Notre Dame's a cash cow, and that's why they're gonna show them favoritism.
Even more so now with the NIL involved. Like everything means more, and what you're going to see, maybe not immediately, maybe not this year, next year, or the following year, but when you're talking about these teams scheduling big out of conference opponents, that's not going to happen anymore.
It's going to stop because if Texas gets left out here, that's going to stop because because all you're going by is record. You're not going by strength of schedule. You're not going by the big wins. Your highly ranked wins, which we've talked about this. Texas has 3 wins against top 10 teams this year. Nobody else has more than nobody else. The most anybody else has is 2.
Mm-hmm.
Texas has 3. They played a tough schedule. They went to Ohio State week 1 and lost by a touchdown. Nobody else has played Ohio State.
Where they outgained Ohio State by 200 yards.
Yes. That was the first game of the year, but they go there. They're not trying to play a non-conference cupcake schedule like a lot of teams do. If Texas doesn't find a way to sneak in here, you might see it anyway from a lot of different schools. They may not be scheduling that tough out-of-conference game in August and September, especially the SEC teams, because they may just wait because that they're going to brutalize each other.
Yep.
Come the regular season. You might see, you really might see that happen where they're not scheduling those.
Well, I mean, because if you think about it, Bill, right? Just think about it. Like people the last two national champions have been Big Ten schools. Okay, those are the top 2 programs in the Big Ten at this point. You could argue Indiana recently, but that's recency bias, right? They've got a lot to prove this weekend. If they beat Ohio State, they're going to be taken seriously, right? At this point, they haven't played anybody either, right? They were in a nail biter with Penn State. Now,
did they play Oregon? Did Indiana have to play Oregon?
Yeah, they beat the piss out of Oregon, actually, by 10. Now,
they beat Oregon.
I don't think Oregon's as good as they have been in the past. Now, a lot of that they've got a new quarterback, a first year starting quarterback. They've got a young offense, right? But they're kind of in the same boat that Texas is. You don't have any excuses when you throw around the kind of money that you throw around and all the talent you have on I am the first one. Like, I will stand up and Bill will say he can admit that he's heard me say this. Texas doesn't deserve a playoff spot. They don't.
Well, you said it last week on this show, sir. I heard
we do not deserve a playoff spot.
No.
But if the goal of the college football playoff is to have the 12 best teams competing for a national title, you point to me 12 teams that are better than Texas, and I'll call you an effing liar, because there might be 3, maybe 3. Because at this point, the way Texas defense was hit or miss at the end, right? The offense really started to turn it around. The offensive line really started to improve. That was the key, right? The offensive line started to turn things around, started to get the ball moving. Like, what they did against Texas A&M proved to you that Texas deserves to be in the national title. You can't, people can't sit here and say Texas A&M is one of the top 5 programs in the country, but then say Texas doesn't deserve to be in it because they lost to Florida 8 weeks ago. It doesn't work that way, guys. And I'll tell you this too. Florida lost 2 games in the swamp, right? You want to know who those 2 games were to? One of them was to Georgia. Yeah. They lost by 4 to Georgia.
And that wasn't a walkover.
No. Right. And I think the other one was maybe LSU. Right. I think that their 2 losses were by a combined 6 points. Right. So
at the 2 home losses.
Their 2 home losses were.
Oh, that is not an easy place to play.
It's hard. And I'm not making excuses for Texas. The most confusing part about that, as a Texas fan, right? We had a bye week to get ready for that game. There was a coach coaching for his life, and we still went in there and lost that game. And we had a chance to at least tie it at the end, and we couldn't make it work. And at that point, I'm putting that 100% on the offensive line. It was not Arch Manning's fault. The defense was not ready to play, right? You had communication issues in the secondary. So, anyways, Shouldn't have lost the game, period. Now, I think there's still a possibility that Texas gets in somehow, right?
Yeah.
I don't because, and I'm saying that because we've already claimed before we started talking about college football playoff committee, they're drunk apparently, right? So
they got to get to 11 and they're 13 now, John.
If,
so the question is, let me ask you these questions. Okay. I don't believe that IU is going to fall out of the top 4 because the team at 5 is Oregon, who they already beat already.
Yeah.
And so unless they just get completely mollywopped by Ohio State, I don't think they're going to fall out of the top 4.
Yeah.
But so you've got 2 teams ahead of you that you beat, OU and Aggie. Those are 2 teams. Those are 7 and 8.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Bama's playing in the SEC championship game against Georgia. If they lose, decent chance.
Mm-hmm.
They did. Alabama beat them earlier in the year.
Yep.
But if Georgia puts one on it, I know this historically doesn't happen. They don't penalize teams for losing in championship games. But if Georgia just beats the crap out of Alabama, is there a chance that they fall out? Probably not because they're Bama.
Yeah.
But if that happens, BYU, I think there's a good chance that BYU is going to get they're going to get their butt whipped again by Tech.
Yeah, I don't think they have a snowball's chance in hell in competing with Texas Tech. Texas Tech is the best team in the Big 12. It's not even close.
It's not.
Now, that's a lot of, like, you take a roster like – so essentially their roster is like taking Texas' roster and dropping it in the Big 12, taking Oregon's roster, dropping it in the Big 12, USC, one of those high-dollar rosters and dropping it in the Big 12 and competing. Now, when you're talking about this, right, and people will say, well, that's what Oklahoma and Texas did in the past. I agree. But what Texas Tech has done is impressive. But at the same time, they're human, right? That offense is a tad bit gimmicky. I think the defense is a bit overblown because of the strength of competition that they're playing. Right. I'm not saying they're a bad defense. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying you take that defense and you put it in the SEC, right? Let's see how they stack up, right? They might be as good as like Missouri or LSU, right? They might be a top 20 defense, right? Yeah. I'll give them that. They've got good players. That was his David Bailey. Is that his name? The edge. He's a great linebacker.
Fantastic.
He's fantastic.
The Rodriguez.
He's fantastic, right?
Oh, yeah.
But Texas Tech always has 1 or 2 guys that are really good, right?
Yeah.
I'm not arguing that. But you could see Georgia, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it this way. If Tech blows out BYU and Georgia beats Bama by 10, 14, or if they just blow them out of the water, which is very possible, right?
Yeah.
There is a chance that you could see Texas in the college football playoff. And
everybody would slide up. Texas has to get to 11 because that 12 spot is going to go to the winner of Tulane and UNT. Highest group of 5 team.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people think that the Virginia game, if Duke beats Virginia, that may completely screw the ACC out of a bid because it would be a 7-5 champion. I don't think Duke's going to beat Virginia, and Virginia could really screw up our plans there that we hope would happen.
Man, I just don't like. I watched Virginia. They're not very impressive, right? Who did they play last week? Virginia Tech. It was a snooze fest, dude. Like I was like, I'd rather go to bed than watch this game.
Well, their conference is ass.
They are 100% ass cheeks. They are.
Let's just say it.
They are. Like UNT, Tulane might get, or one of those two is probably going to get the last spot. They're going to be 12, which means they're going to play who? Like.
They'd be the 12. They'd play the 5, which would be Oregon at this point.
Oh God, that's going to be a massacre, dude. And a lot of that's just they don't have the athletes to compete with that. Like I understand rewarding a team for being good and playing well, but man, my God.
Don't get it twisted. We love North Texas. I mean, we're both DFW guys, and
we do.
John lives right down the street.
I do. My kid might go there. I don't know. There's a possibility, but the college football playoff committee, they modeled this thing to help the Notre Dame Irish get in. No one can change my mind. I don't care if whatever his name was that explained why Texas was out yesterday was sitting in my living room trying to explain. I would call him a liar to his face. The two good teams that Notre Dame played, they lost to. A&M needed a bad call that should have been a hold to beat them. But I'm not saying that Notre Dame's a terrible team, but they shouldn't get an auto bid because they're freaking Notre Dame. Look at this.
They don't play in a damn conference. They don't play in a damn conference.
Right. Don't reward them because they choose not to be in a conference because it's an easier path to the playoff.
Yes,
right?
Agreed.
That's bullshit. Like if that's the case, shit. Why should Penn State stay in the Big Ten? They can't ever win it because they can't ever beat Ohio State. Just go independent. Then all you got to do is worry about freaking Notre Dame. So in the grand scheme of things, Texas is getting punished for playing Ohio State and losing. Yeah. Alabama is not getting punished for losing to Florida State, who's awful and got punished by Florida. So why do we continue to schedule these games for non-con? Now,
like we said, it's probably not going to be happening much longer.
No, and
which is disappointing. Which is disappointing because that makes college football early in the season very watchable, and it's exciting, and you have some really good games early in the season. But
like nobody wants to see Texas play Pittsburgh State like that. They're going to beat the hot shit out of those guys.
Yeah,
and that's just a tune-up to get the offense and defense rolling, right? So, I hope they figure it out. And the other big thing that we can talk about before we jump into, I want to get who you think is going to win these games. I think we're all going to be on board with the selections, so we won't have to spend much time there. But the Lane Kiffin saga is an interesting one. A couple of weeks ago, you asked me what I thought. I thought he was going to stay at Ole Miss. Boy, was I wrong. He said, "To hell with you guys. I'm taking
little weasel, little weasel."
He's a butthole. I don't understand Ole Miss would have given him anything to keep him there.
Anything. Yeah.
The fact of the matter remains, his ego didn't want to stay there. He wanted to go.
He loves the attention.
He loves setting that place on fire and walking out with a smile on his face. And that's why, hot take here, he will never win a national title as a head coach ever.
That's about three schools now that two of them in the same conference. That a lot of those schools, a lot of those people, that those fans of those schools would shoot you on sight.
Yeah. He burnt Tennessee to the ground after a year to go to USC. USC got ran out of there with a torch and pitchforks.
Yep.
And then he built Ole Miss into a contender and then left like a thief in the middle of it. That's worse than what Lincoln Riley did because he just drug it on. Like, just tell him, hey, I'm leaving, dude.
And then he tries to get him to let him coach the bowl game. No, you snake, get away from my players.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, I know we're about to go to break, so when we get back, we'll jump into some Dallas Cowboys. We'll talk about their game against the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll talk preview tomorrow night's game with the Lions, and we will also jump into some Stars and some Mavs. So
that sounds like a plan to me, buddy.
Once the break's done, we'll jump back into that.
Absolutely.
Maybe.
Do we keep talking? Because, we got plenty of stuff to talk about.
We can. There we go.
Okay.
Online, they're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1820. 855-325-1820. That's 855-325-1820. Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more. 800-240-4587. 800-240-4587. 800-240-4587. That's 800-240-4587.
All right. Before we jump back into it, just a reminder, today's show is brought to you by Ensemble Co-working, Fort Worth's hub for private offices, co-working, meeting space, and virtual mail. Find your perfect workspace at ensemblecoworking.com.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. So before we jump into Cowboys and Stars and Mavs, some predictions, right? I think we can all agree. UNT Tulane. I want UNT to win. I like Drew Mestamaker. The story is great. I know he's going to follow his coach to Oklahoma State.
Yep.
I'm picking UNT to win that game. I don't know. I don't know anything about Tulane. I know they're well coached. I know John Summerall.
Their coaches. A battle of coaches that are leaving because their coach is going to Florida.
Yeah, he's going to Florida.
John Summerall is going to be the new coach at Florida. So
I'm picking UNT. So I don't know what your thoughts are there.
I think it's going to be a hell of a game. I think UNT has an exciting offense. They are one of the top teams in the country in the red zone, and they have, like I said, they have some offensive playmakers. You started with Mastermaker, the quarterback's very talented. Tulane has a very, I'm not going to say spectacular. They have a very sturdy defense.
Yeah,
but in this one, I'm going to take the team that has a little bit more offensive firepower. That could put a little bit more points on the board. I'm going to take North Texas. I think it's going to be a good game, but I'm going to take North Texas.
All right, the next game is
Go Mean Green.
Go Mean Green Eagles. Let's do it. BYU Tech. I think we both think Tech runs away with this.
I think they're going to beat the snot out of them.
Okay. Yep. Georgia Bama. I'm hoping for a Georgia blowout.
Well, we want Georgia to beat the dog snot out of them.
I'm hoping Indiana and Ohio State's a great game. I think it'll be a close game in the first half, and then I think the depth of Ohio State will win them the game. But I'm hoping an upset happens because I hate Ohio State.
I would love to see you. And I both do.
They'll cry about it.
I would love to see Indiana just continue their run and going through this. I would love if Texas can't be in there. I would not hate at all seeing Indiana win a national championship, because then all those Notre Dame people in the same damn state could just say, you could just look at them and say, suck it.
Yeah, the last time Notre Dame won a national title, I wasn't a thing. So there's that.
Yeah, it was the 80s.
Yep.
So yeah.
So and then the last one is Duke and Virginia. Look, I think Virginia's probably going to beat them in probably one of the most boring football games you'll ever see. But if Duke somehow beats them, I think that's better for Texas, because I don't think the College Football Playoff Committee will put.
They're not taking Duke. Although we also are pulling for Duke for another reason.
No,
I believe. No, you're not. You're not a Manny Diaz fan.
I mean, he's okay, but. I thought you were going to say because you're a Duke basketball fan, but
I am, but this is not Duke basketball. Yeah. I would rather see them win. Only reason I want to see them win here, I do like Manny Diaz because he's
they got some sick uniforms. I'll give them that. Like those
the black with black with the blue. Oh, those are
sick. And then they got the blue helmet with the white D, and then the stripe. That's pretty sick, dude. But yeah, I mean, Virginia's a quality institution, but
they are.
James Franklin's about to hand them their ass on repeat.
I'm excited because Penn State. We're talking about that they only have a few recruits. Guess why? Because guess where they're all going? They follow the coach to Virginia Tech. They're all going to Va Tech.
Somebody else is going to be giving Clemson an ass whooping annually. I have a feeling he's going to run that conference, dude. You know as well as I do. He's going to run that conference.
But he ain't going to win no national championships because he can't do that.
He may not, but Dabo hasn't won a national championship since NIL and the portal have been a thing. So there's that.
No, I know. Well, I'm aware. They're trying to run him out. Anyway.
Well, let's jump into our boys in blue who have made us proud since the trade deadline. Man, this is a different team.
This is a wholly different team, man. And it's sad that a new guy is the one that seems to be leading the charge.
Yeah.
Quinnen Williams has made such a difference in this team. He's lengthened that defensive tackle rotation. He's given you a guy in the middle that can stop the run and can get pressure on the quarterback. The young man is relentless.
Yep.
And he's already been a very vocal leader saying, don't worry about anything else. I got you. Basically, just do your job. I got everything else.
Yep.
And
I like it.
I like it.
He has been a constant pain in the ass of the quarterbacks that he's faced.
Indeed.
Jalen Hurts does not like the fact that he plays in Dallas now. Kansas City did not like the fact that he was constantly in Pretty Boy Mahomes' face.
Right in his lap.
Right in his lap every play. And when he's not in his lap, Kenny's in his lap. Jadeveon Clowney, man, he's had a resurgence. I read somewhere that he had like a 48% pressure rate, and he only had like 35% of the snaps on defense or something. It was something crazy. Like he had the least amount of snaps, and he had the most amount of pressure on the quarterback, which is insane to think about. But continue, sir. I'm sorry.
No, like I said, he's made a tremendous. This was not an incredible defensive effort, but it was good enough.
Mm-hmm.
They got the stops when they needed to.
I will take that after the first 8 weeks of the season.
Oh yeah, and when you look at Mahomes had 4 touchdowns, didn't get picked off once, but he was harassed repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
While early in the game, Kansas City was moving the ball. They didn't have trouble running the ball early in the game. That stopped later in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And Dallas was able. You mentioned with the UT game, the Texas Longhorns and the Dallas Cowboys have had something in common for a while. They can't seem to, when they need to just take the air out of the football, which for those that don't know, that means you're going to run the football and control the clock and just chew up the clock. Neither one of those teams has been very good at doing that at all. Javonte Williams this year, man, he's been a huge pickup for them. The line has played better. They did something, and man, I was just almost overjoyed. It was a small thing, but watching them grind it down, run that clock out, and not ever give Mahomes a chance to possess the football again.
Mm-hmm.
That is something that you have not seen from this team in a long time.
That's credit to a smart football coach.
And you know as well as I do, when it gets cold, you got to be able to run the football and you got to be able to play defense.
Yep.
If they find a way to, I promise you, they may not. It may be too little, too late. But if they find a way to sneak into the playoffs, nobody wants to play them.
Oh no. You know who they remind me of? I hate to compare them, right? They remind me of I believe it was the 2007 Giants. How they were very, very average. Now the difference was the Giants had a really ferocious pass rush, right? They had, was it Justin Tuck? They had Osi Umenyiora. They had what was his name? gap. Strahan, that's it. Strahan, right? JPP. They had all those dudes, and the offense was just average. But
that was
Dallas
their NASCAR. That's what they call their NASCAR package,
Right.
which that was basically they would put on passing downs. They would put 4 defensive ends on the field.
Yep.
Three of Dallas's best players happen to be defensive tackles.
Yep.
But they also happen to be 3 of their best pass rushers.
Yeah.
So you've been seeing a lot of 5-man lines with all 3 defensive tackles out there at the same time.
Yep.
And you've got Clowney playing on the edge as Araku has started to come on as the years progressed. Sam Williams has played pretty well. So I mean they can get after the quarterback.
Now, the other thing I heard G-Bag talking about the other day, they're talking about Trayvon Diggs is coming back, and they're saying that a lot of his issues were mental, right? Like he didn't want to be there, and whether it be, because they traded his boyfriend to Green Bay or what,
Lord.
Here's where I'm at with it. You're an effing professional football player. You've got a multi-million-dollar contract. They paid you like a star corner. Get over yourself and do what you're paid to do.
I've heard a lot to do with the whole training staff thing, because he didn't want to work with Britt Brown, who is one of the best in the business. Britt is a grinder.
Yeah.
But he's got proven results. But I think a lot of it stems back to the fact that he didn't want to work with Britt Brown. He wanted to use his own training staff, and that caused some friction with the team. He comes back after using his own training staff and not using Britt Brown, and what happened? He wasn't ready to play.
Wow, weird.
And I'm not going to guarantee you and say that even if he had been working with Britt Brown, that he would have been cleared to play. But the Cowboys would have at least known what was going on beforehand. So I can understand the team being a little frustrated with that there.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the situation we had with a receiver a couple years ago.
Who would that be?
Amari Cooper. He was rubbing people the wrong way. I think it started over the freaking COVID shot or something like that. Something stupid. Like he refused to get the COVID shot, and then he was never available. And then Mike McCarthy kind of expedited it because he kind of played devil's advocate there. Like he didn't like the fact that he was never playing, but at the same time, dude, he was one of those guys that he was always ready for the game. If he didn't practice, he was ready for the game. I know you got to practice to play, but man, that was what his career was. He showed up and he was the best receiver on the field. And then, anyways, there's a big difference between he and the only similarity there is that they both played at Alabama. But
Fact.
I just don't see. I don't see a path where Trayvon Diggs is on this team next season. I think it's run its course, unless he comes back this season and there really was an injury. I think that was all bullshit. I think they put him on the IR just to not keep him on the field, and I think they're that's just what I think. I don't think that there was. I don't think there was anything ailing him that was keeping him from playing. I think it was all up here, but that's just me.
Let him go to Houston and play with his brother, or ship him to someplace shitty. I don't know.
Cleveland. Send his ass to Cleveland.
That's about the only thing they do know how to do in Cleveland is play defense. Myles Garrett, just for the record, that dude is unreal.
Oh my God. I hate the fact that he's an Aggie, dude. Like I hate giving credit to Aggies.
Well, and Von Miller too.
Right. Like it's sad that
both of them DFW guys, both of them Aggies.
Really, they're both DeSoto guys.
No, Martin Warriors for Mr. Garrett. Martin Warriors, Arlington.
Okay. So yeah. So Von Miller was DeSoto. So
he was DeSoto.
Yeah. I'm so frustrated because they talked about for years, early in his career, Diggs is not Stephon. Diggs is not Stephon. He's better. But he's starting to turn into Stephon. where he's got that personality that gets in his way. And the bad part about it is, dude, he's really likable, right? They like outside of him being an asshole, right? He's really likable. And the first time you saw him rear his head being an asshole was during the San Francisco game where they just got the shit kicked out of him or them as a whole collective unit. And it was like him avoiding tackles. It's like, dude, what are you doing? And he went out there and I forget who it was that he yelled at. I'd like to see you do what I try to do. It's like, dude, get over yourself, man. I could tell you if I was doing what you were doing, I would try to tackle somebody. Right? That's what I would have said to him. But I'm also an ass. But anyways, I am over Trayvon Diggs.
I get it.
Get him the hell out of here. Especially with the way Reddy Stewart's been playing and Siobhan Ravel. We're start the youth movement early. I'm okay with it. If somebody wants to take that bad contract, great. I'm okay with it.
Add 2 first-round draft picks next year.
Yeah, we got 2 first-round draft picks next year, and we still have one the following year. I'm okay with it. I'm 100% okay with it.
Yep.
So we're at the point where we can rebuild the staff or rebuild the team, keep it young, and not have to overpay for it.
Yep.
And we're gonna be golden. And
well, we're gonna figure out a way to lock up George Pickens because they better.
Yeah,
because that dude's a freaking monster.
They have to.
And I'm telling you, dude. Like I said, it may be too little, too late. We may not find a way to sneak into the playoffs, but nobody wants to play this team right now. That kind of leads us into tomorrow night's game with the Lions, Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
The Lions are they're a tough team, and they're a bit up against their backs against the wall right now because this and literally either one of these teams, whoever loses this game, this is going to severely cripple their playoff chances.
Yeah.
The Lions are already behind 2 teams in the NFC North with the Bears and the Packers.
Yeah.
They just lost to the Packers on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
They lose this.
They kind of got dominated too.
Yeah, they lose this game, they're going to be 7-6.
Yeah.
So that's a struggle because they've still got a couple of tough games left, I think. But
I think both of their tackles have shoulder injuries too.
Decker has not played up to what he was. He was never a powerful guy. He was always an athlete guy.
Yeah,
played tackle, but he's taken a step back and he's banged up. You may or may not have Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Mm-hmm.
They're one of the top receivers in the league. Sam Laporta, obviously, they lost him a few weeks back to a season-ending injury, and now their backup right looks like he's probably not going to play.
And then I heard Penei Sewell's dealing with a shoulder.
If Sewell's compromised, that could be a really, really good thing for that Dallas front, who's already going to get after you regardless.
Yeah.
The only thing that Detroit really does have that scares the shit out of me is David Montgomery to a lesser extent, but Jahmyr Gibbs is
they can run the ball.
He is so much fun. He is so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
And that's a Bama guy, so I'm not a big fan of that school. Obviously, we all know that.
Yeah.
But that kid is electric.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching him play football, but honestly, I hope he doesn't do well this weekend.
I hope he gets a stomach bug, and he can't
something.
I don't want injury on the guy. I don't want injury on anybody.
No.
I just want him not to play against my team. That's
absolutely
that's where I'm at with that.
I got you.
I think the way Dallas is playing, it's pretty clear. I think we've touched on this every week so far. Jerry absolutely crushed the hire with Shoddy. He reminds me a lot of Dan Campbell.
Give the man his flowers right now, people, and you and I are as hard on him as anybody. But give the man his flowers right.
He has killed it. He won the Micah Parsons trade.
They've made some big moves. He won the Micah Parsons trade, the Quinnen Williams deal. They tried to get him back in. They tried to get him back in the off season.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much they think of him. They wanted him for a while.
Yeah,
and he's made a huge difference in this team. The Logan Wilson was solid.
Yeah,
and like I said, man, I hate these guys. The guys that they added and the guys that they're coming back from injury. It may be too little, too late, but
yeah,
there's reason for optimism again, and this is it's a good feeling, man, because it's
weird. It's weird.
It's been a long time coming.
Well, like even when we were like winning 10, 12 games with McCarthy, I knew it was just a matter of time because he was just a dumbass. Like I knew he was going to blow it somehow, right? Like there's a reason that Green Bay got rid of him, you know, and you know, I hate to be so, you know, obtuse about it, but like I knew we weren't going to win with McCarthy. Like he talked like the biggest thing when they hired McCarthy was, oh, he had this big catharsis, you know, when he took a year off and he really looked in the mirror and, you know, I was like, no, you didn't.
Sold. He sold out. I was watching all the games. No, you weren't. You lying.
You're full of shit. What you were doing is you were watching games and eating bonbons is what you were doing, man. Like you didn't do a damn thing. So yeah, tomorrow night's going to be a good game. I'm probably going to have to watch from my phone because Jackson has practice. So,
oh no.
So I know we only got a few minutes left. So we'll jump into the Mavs and then we'll cover the Stars. So the Mavs picked up a big win against the Nuggets. We're still trash, but they did shoot 56% from the field. So that's a big reason. They shot 52% from three. That's another big reason. And Clay scored 15 points. So
look at that. Hey, that's not the only news he made this week.
Oh yeah.
Did you hear about you didn't hear about the trash talk with him and the kid from Miami? Basically saying, who
are you talking about? Oh no! I heard about the one with John Morant. He said something about John Morant.
Yeah, he said, "Who are you?" He said, "Who are you?" And he said, "I don't know." He said, "I got 4 rings. All you got's a record."
Hats off to Clay, man. That's awesome.
That was top notch. Now he got into it with a kid from Miami too, which to their credit, Caron Butler, former Maverick, played in the NBA for a long time. Nickname, one of the best nicknames of all time, Real Tough Juice.
Yeah.
But this kid was being real disrespectful. Well, Caron went and got him out of the locker room and brought him back out to talk to Clay and apologize. He literally, like his dad, went in there and got him and said, "You're going to go back out here and apologize right now."
Yeah.
And at first, Clay didn't want any part of it, but he did. He listened to it, and he accepted the apology and all that. But
yeah,
no, that line of John Morant was classic. He said, John Morant said, "Who are you?" Or you suck or whatever. He said, "Well, I got 4 rings. All you got's a record." So
yeah. That was pretty awesome.
That's a mic drop.
Oh yeah, mic drop, and he's like, "Damn." AD scored 32 points. Now, when AD plays, there's no doubt about it. He's one of the best in the world. That's the problem, though, is him playing. You never know when he's going to get hurt.
We've talked about that from the jump.
He's going to have a hangnail, and then he's going to be out for 4 months, and then you're pissed off. He shot 13 for 23. He just can't stay healthy. I think the kid. Cooper, he had 24 points and he shot around the same. That's the frustrating part about the Mavs is how good they can be, how young they are. It's very frustrating to know what they could have been, especially if you throw in Luka, being here. As long as I'm alive, I will never, like my kids will talk about the Luka trade. That's going to go down in infamy, kind of like with us. When I was younger, the Herschel Walker trade that turned into
built the dynasty, baby.
Like, how do you trade a top 3? I'm going to say a top 3 player in the world to one of the top franchises in the NBA for peanuts.
Difference is the Cowboys got a lot of stuff back in return, and the Mavericks got a broken down superstar.
And the Cowboys weren't the franchise that they are after that trade, right? That was the trade that made them the franchise.
That was what built. That was the foundation for those dynasty years of the 90s.
But who did it? Was it Jimmy, or was it Jerry?
I think we damn well know it was Jimmy.
All right. The Mavs, man, they are what they are. Now the Stars, they dropped a game last night. They lost 3-2 in overtime. Not going to win them all. The biggest soul crushing part of that looks like Tyler Seguin is out for the season, torn ACL, which is pretty terrible because Tyler Seguin has had a pretty good season. He's a leader on the team. When we've got some younger forwards in the game, he's a guy that you want in there. Man, the Rangers are hot. We lost in overtime 3-2 to the Rangers. They play the Devils tonight, Ottawa on Thursday. Big news, though, Bill.
Tell me.
There's a rumor going around that Dallas is exploring a trade to reacquire Mason Marchment.
God.
They're looking into it.
John,
Well,
I thought you were going to tell me good. I thought you were telling me good news.
Well, I mean, that's good news because they want physicality with their forwards. And there's one thing Mason Marchment is, he's effing physical, right?
Well, you
There's
found
no
the one
doubt
good
about
thing that you found the one good thing that he does.
He's physical, right? But with the uncertainty of the Kraken, I saw an article and they said it makes sense. There's rumors going around. There's another guy that they're looking at too. They're wanting to get a gritty, tough, physical forward to add to their lineup. And there's a guy from Calgary as well that they were talking about.
Calgary.
I forget what his name is, but he's a guy that along the lines of Mason Marchment, just physical, tough, seasoned veteran. Along with, trying to stay hot, who knows when Maddie's going to come back. The good thing is Colin Blackwell and Sam Steele have played really well. They've given us quite a bit this season. They've kind of plug and played with those guys. They're moving guys around. The biggest thing about the Stars, though, is their power play is the best in the NHL.
They've been scoring goals in bunches.
They've been scoring goals in bunches, and I don't know about last night, but prior to last night, they had scored a power play goal in 7 straight games.
Yep.
That's unreal, but that's what Gully is known for. He's a power play genius. And I told you that, and you were like, oh, let's see what happens when he gets to the playoffs. Couldn't agree more, because that's what matters. Regular season is what it is.
We need to, not to cut you off there, but we need to say a little prayer. We don't have to do it right now on air because not everybody's prayers, but we need to say a little prayer for our Longhorns and for our Cowboys. For the Longhorns, that they find a way to get into the college football playoff. So that'd be awesome if we could have a rematch with Aggie, like first round.
I would love it.
That'd be so much fun. Let us go to Kyle Field and we'll just embarrass them there. But say a little prayer, Buddy, I love you. It was good to see you, buddy.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye, everybody.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of the county, Joco Community Radio.
Why have thousands of aspiring authors teamed up with Christian Faith Publishing to publish their book? Because Christian Faith Publishing is an author-friendly publisher who understands that your labor is more than just a book.